In the space of a few short years, something enormous has changed. A machine quietly learned to write, to draw, to reason. It didn't ask for permission, it just showed up, and today it's reshaping our world. Jobs we once thought safe now tremble. Corporations once bound by human limitations now stretch across borders with digital mind power. Data isn't simply collected, it's consumed, parsed, monetized. And behind the shimmering promise of the next wave lies a deeper truth. Someone wins big, others lose, and millions remain caught in the gaps. This is the boom of artificial intelligence, and the question isn't, can we build it? But who will benefit and who will be left behind? Let us imagine a factory floor, but instead of machines whirring and humans toiling, there are lines of code, algorithms dripping with possibility. Or picture an office meeting where the lead voice isn't a senior executive, but a system that processes 10000 documents in seconds. We're no longer in a future vision, we're in the present. Generative AI, deep learning systems and automation are no longer the promise of tomorrow, they are the engine of today. Research from the Brookings Institution finds that more than 30% of workers could see at least half of their tasks disrupted by generative AI. Jobs in finance, law, architecture, engineering. The roles once thought immune are now in the crosshairs. Work is changing, but the changes are not equal. Some gain power, others watch it slip away. In the realm of work, the transformation is swift and silent. The reality: AI isn't just automating repetitive tasks in factories or warehouses. The real shocker is cognitive work. The white-collar sectors, the skilled professions. Tasks once reserved for human judgment are now encoded into models. The study from Brookings emphasizes this. The sectors that face the greatest exposure are dominated by higher-paid fields with advanced degree requirements, such as STEM, business, finance, law. Why? Because AI doesn't just replace muscle, it replaces mind. And when mind becomes software, the human premium shrinks. Take, for example, marketers, designers, analysts, the jobs that once required creativity, insight, instinct. They too are now shadowed by machine learning systems that can generate content, forecast trends, parse customer sentiment. According to a Harvard DCE article on marketing, AI shapes the future of marketing by relying on vast consumer data, by dethroning entry-level jobs and raising ethical flags around privacy. Simultaneously, tech companies boast of AI as their next major growth engine, meaning those who own the machines are poised to win. Yet what about the workers? What about the ones who wake up and find their job description trimmed, their role augmented, then replaced? The ethical implications are profound. Loss of purpose, financial instability, widening inequality. An article on ethics and job displacement says the concentration of wealth and power in the hands of those controlling AI technology could exacerbate existing socio-economic inequalities. And there's already evidence of this in real workplaces. Tech workers at major firms reporting AI is being used as justification for layoffs or restructuring. So in this game, the winners are those who build, manage, invest in AI. The losers are the workers whose tasks are commoditized, who lack the resources or infrastructure to adapt. And the left behind, those whose roles vanish entirely or whose communities lack the safety net, retraining, or alternative pathways. But job disruption tells only one side of the story. Because AI's reach isn't confined to the office or factory floor, it stretches into our very identities, our data, the unseen market forces shaping how we live. Surveillance, marketing, the extraction of human behavior. And who holds the power there? The next act of this story lies in the shadows. When we talk about AI, we often imagine robots or futuristic scenes, but a much quieter revolution is happening. The mining of human data, the use of AI to read us, predict us, influence us, companies and states alike are harnessing machine learning for surveillance, marketing, behavior modification. Consider the case of Clearview AI, a facial recognition firm whose software matched faces to a database of billions of images scraped from the internet. It's a stark example of how AI tools can convert our faces, our presence, our data into surveillance assets. Or think of marketing, as one analysis puts it. Sophisticated AI systems rely on massive consumer data to personalize user experiences. But the flip side is that our data is used in ways we rarely see, rarely understand. The scale of this is enormous. AI doesn't just predict trends, it nudges, it steers. And behind the scenes, the architects of these systems hold unprecedented power to decide what you see, what you buy, how you behave. It is here the winner-loser gap grows darker. On one side, tech giants, platforms, data-rich firms who can afford AI infrastructure, accumulate data, deploy systems globally. On the other side, everyday people whose data becomes raw material, whose choices are shaped by systems they never opted into. And yes, jobs shift, but so does autonomy, privacy, dignity. The ethicist and former Google researcher Meredith Whittaker argues bluntly, "I see AI as born out of the surveillance business model. AI is basically a way of deriving more power, more revenue, more market reach." When power concentrates in this way, the question becomes less about, can I keep my job? And more about, do I still control my data, my life, my future? The unpredictable winner is the individual user, because for lots of models, you are merely the input. The predictable winner is the owner of the model, and when jobs change, data is harvested. Power shifts, there are ethical questions that hang heavy. These are not theoretical, they are urgent. They tether to fairness, freedom, humanity. Let's peel back the curtain. AI's wild growth has raced ahead of legal and ethical guardrails. Articles warn that we are simply not prepared for the risks. The 5 issues to consider as AI reshapes work include fairness, job security, human oversight, transparency, and accountability. Take algorithmic bias. AI systems might reflect, amplify, or entrench existing social inequalities. The concept of algorithmic bias shows how algorithms that seem neutral can produce unfair outcomes, privileging one group and disadvantaging another. Or the issue of AI washing companies, marketing products as AI-powered to win investors or consumers even when substance is thin. Then ask, who oversees the overseers? One academic paper examines ethics entrepreneurs, people inside tech companies trying to institutionalize ethical AI, but they face immense obstacles, incentives aimed at product launch, not ethical audit, metrics designed for growth, not fairness. And what happens when ethics get sidelined? The stakes are high, jobs lost, privacy stripped, power concentrated. We also face regulatory gaps, varied laws across countries, patchy enforcement, lagging transparency. When tech giants operate globally, the weakest regulation becomes the operating norm. And when AI is centralized, users seldom see the inner logic, they only feel the outcome. Can we trust a system we cannot audit? In many cases, workers are displaced before retraining policies are in place. Communities shrink before renewal plans arrive. And in data domains, users give consent once, but systems use the data many times. The ethical equilibrium tilts. The winners accelerate. The left behind can't keep pace. So we've seen the machinery. Jobs reshaped, data harvested, power poured into a handful of hands, ethics lagging behind. But solutions exist, and they matter. For workers, for policymakers, for us. Let's look ahead. First, for workers. Adaptation is critical. As roles shift, the value moves to human skills that machines struggle with: empathy, judgment, creativity, strategic thinking. Studies show that while certain jobs are at risk, others thrive when humans partner with AI rather than compete with it. But adaptation requires reskilling, support structures, societal investment. It requires recognizing that the transition isn't ethical unless no one gets left behind. For data and surveillance, transparency must increase. People must know how their data is used. There must be stronger regulations around consent, anonymity, purpose limitation, and the use of surveillance-grade tools. Firms deploying facial recognition, mass data models, need accountability. The case of Clearview AI makes that clear. For tech giants and platform power, we need checks and balances. Competition, decentralization, open. Audit these matter. When power concentrates, innovation may thrive, but fairness often withers. We must ask, who owns the model? Who benefits? Who suffers? For ethics and governance, we need frameworks that match the speed of change. Ethics cannot be appendix after launch, they must be built in. The paper on AI ethics toolkits shows they often lack guidance on labor, power dynamics, organizational context. We need ethics that reflect the lived reality of workers, users, communities, not just checkbox compliance. Finally, for society, we must debate the kind of future we want. Do we want a world where a small number of firms control massive AI engines and observe everything, or one where AI empowers many, respects human dignity, enhances fairness? The choices are ours. So, the AI boom is already here. Some companies, some individuals, some nations are soaring, others are stumbling, and many are invisible in the story. But this is not just a technological revolution, it's a social one. The question isn't merely, what can AI do, but who decides how it's used? If you're watching this, ask yourself, is my job safe? Is my data mine? Who collects it? Who profits? Who decides? If this episode revealed something you didn't know, share it. Dive deeper. Talk about it. Because awareness matters. The machines are advancing. The rules are still being written. And in the world of AI, the biggest question of all remains. Who wins, who loses, and who gets left behind? Drop your thoughts in a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to us for more breakdown. Until next, stay sharp and curious.